So how do you start protecting your assets as a business owner? I'm Michael Redden. If you have any comments or questions about this topic, please leave them below. So protecting your assets as a business owner. One of the things you need to kind of look at is how do you separate yourself from your business, right? You made this business, you're running it the right way. It's supposed to shield you from those liabilities as a business. But sometimes you could get sued personally and you still need to kind of protect your assets. This is really a simple method which you do that. Firstly, a lot of you may own your business and be the only person who owns it. If you do it that way, then you're probably going to expose everything because there's a lot of different ways attorneys can argue that this isn't really a business. You're the only one there. You're it. And that's kind of those disregarded single member entities. But even if you don't have one of those, you generally should put some of your ownership interest in a trust. These trusts then, if they are settled properly, whether you make yourself be the beneficiary, your spouse, or whoever, if they're done properly, they can provide asset protection. They also can make sure that your business will pass on to your heirs and take care of you, take care of other people, so they have an estate planning purpose. And if they're done as non-grantor trusts, they actually will give you some tax benefits now after tax reform. Now, this trust, if it's set up properly, can be in certain states where the money inside of it, even if it's self-settled, meaning you made it for yourself as a beneficiary, will be outside of any kind of lawsuits and things like that and won't be able to be touched. It also could be one of those that kind of sits in America and goes back overseas, and that's another reason why you do it. So it could be a domestic trust here, or it can be an overseas trust. As long as you make it for yourself and it's in one of those states, it should provide you protection. If you're in a state that doesn't provide that protection like Minnesota, then you really have to have someone else make the trust for you. Your parents can make a trust for you and you can sell or put your business into that trust, or you can make it for your spouse because anything that helps your spouse is going to actually help you. There are some things you can do to plan for that and to keep it outside of divorce if you're worried about putting that in your spouse's hands, but that's kind of a topic for another video. The point of this is to not be holding all that business, to put that pieces of that business inside of a trust that can provide asset protection. It'll give you a tax benefit and an estate planning benefit. Then, if you're sued, you're only going to be risking the amount of money that comes from the percentage of the business you own. So if you only own 20% and 80% is inside the trust, 80% of all the money that you own is in the trust. It can still be used to pay your assets and your bills. And that 20% then there is subject to garnishment and things. And a lot of times our business can really handle a piece of a 20% hit, and so could your personal finances. But you won't want your overall finances or 80% or 100% to be subject to garnishment or seizure. Now remember, especially if your business is smaller, if you're the face of your business, it's pretty uncommon that your business is going to be sued and you're not also going to be sued. They're going to say that you either didn't supervise employees directly, that you didn't supervise your partner, or you might have been the person having the sales conversation, so they want to sue you too. So get that business up. That business is really going to protect you from a lot of lawsuits. It's going to protect you from vendor complaints and things like that a lot, unless you have a personal guarantee. And then if you put part of that business and part of your assets into this trust meant for protection, you're actually going to separate it from you if you get personally sued, and it can go on and help things. It's really hard to say I'm going to sue the trust or the trustee. You shouldn't be the trustee. If it's not operating the business, if it's not making any sales, if it's just sitting there collecting money that it then spends for my benefit. So that's one really good way you can protect your assets as a business owner. You can do it whether you're extremely wealthy and successful or when you're just starting out. You start these things the right way, or you correct them later, and then you've done it well before there are problems. You've taken care of your estate planning, and you're a much harder target when it comes to lawsuits. If you have any other questions or concerns about this, please leave them in the comments below.